remove ignorance from the society, and bestow intelligence in us and prosper us with her grace. Please, can we have the video for Saraswati Vandana?
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
I urge Goddess Saraswati to express her grace throughout the life cycle of the PELS chapter. Now, I request Mr. Balapanda sir, the chair of IEEE PELS Madhya Pradesh chapter India, to present the welcome address to the guests. Sir, over to you.
Good morning, distinguished IEEE office bearers from USA, Canada, and good evening to guests from Asia Pacific country, all Power Electronics Society members from India, including from Madhya Pradesh chapter, faculties and students, scientists and engineers, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Your video is not visible.
Tripartite video. Are you sharing?
Sir, you can continue, sir.
Tripartite. You go on
without video also it will do.
Tripartite, you share in between. I'm speaking. Let us know. Okay. Today we have joined here for inauguration of the IEEE Power Electronics Society chapter Madhya Pradesh chapter. Next slide. First of all, a hearty welcome to our honorable chief guest, Professor Mohan, Oscar A. Scott Professor of Power Electronics, University of Minnesota, USA. Sir, I would like to keep on record that your book on power electronics is quite popular in India, and almost all of us have referred it at some stage or the other. I, along with all the members of the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter, feel honored to invite you for inaugural ceremony of our chapter, and we are privileged to listen to your inaugural lecture on power engineering education in the age of climate crisis, a holistic view, a topic of research interest to power electronics community. Sir, this chapter will remember you forever for inaugurating it on the next slide. A hearty welcome to Honorable Special Guest, Professor Saifur Rahman, 2022 IEEE President-elect and Director, Virginia Tech Advanced Research Institute, USA. Sir, I feel privileged to be in touch with you for last several years, and you have been kind to personally join some of our eminent lectures in this IEEE forum, and I am quite optimistic to get your continued support and guidance in the years ahead. I would also like to mention here that Professor Saifur has a good personal database of all IEEE members across the globe, and he has managed to get through his long association with IEEE. He remembers many of us by name and is quite popular among the IEEE members in India too. Next slide. A very hearty welcome to Professor, our honorable guest of honor, Professor Lu Cheng Chiang, PLS President. He has, sir, we will put best possible effort to enrich our activities and leave no stone unturned to take the PLS explore new peaks under your unmatched leadership and guidance. Next slide. a very but okay, I'm aware. Very hearty welcome to Professor Mark, Vice President, Membership PLS. He is always available to support and advise us for increasing the PLS member base, and I agree to address why should I become a member of the PLS. A very hearty welcome to Professor Sanjeev Kumar Panda, PLS membership and chapter coordinator. He is instrumental for formation of IEEE PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter and advising different PLS chapters and joint chapters in India for enriching PLS activity in the country through his long association with the IEEE and PLS. In fact, Professor Mark and Professor Panda are two pillars of strength for our chapter from IEEE PLS and R10 PLS respectively. I am sure their support and guidance, the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter will grow in size and enrich its activity and so on and so forth. Next slide. Okay. Next slide. A hearty welcome to Dr. Deepak Mathur, Director IEEE Region 10 Asia Pacific, and Dr. G.S. Tomar, Chair IEEE Madhya Pradesh section, for their continued support and guidance. Dr. Deepak Mathur has kindly agreed to present overview of the Region 10 from his vacations tour in Seattle in this early morning time. Parallelly, I also a warm welcome also to Professor K.J. Relu for providing the support and gracing the inauguration occasion. I also welcome to each and every one of you, both participants and volunteers from the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter, to join this occasion. Now this is a letter. This is an approval letter from the Managing Director MGA for formation of the IEEE PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter on 31st March 2022. Coming to the objective, next slide. Coming to objective and mission, PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter will provide a platform for interacting with the researchers, faculties, and students working in the field of power electronics, and also promote cooperations and professional networking among its members. Next slide, please. It will also enrich the chapter activities as well as align and integrate them with the activities of the R10 PLS and IEEE PLS. Will try to fulfill the need of the PLS members and increase the PLS member database in the chapter and so on. Next slide. Next slide. Here is next slide. Here is a team of eminent personalities gracing the inaugural ceremony of the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter. I, along with all the members of the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter, are grateful to all the stalwarts from IEEE, PLS, and R10 for sparing their valuable time and also delivering their address. Thank you very much for gracing the inauguration of PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter, India. Before I request, Professor Tomar is available.
Yes, I'm available.
Before I request Dr. Tomar to kindly deliver his address, may I request all the participants to kindly be in mute mode during the program. Any query during the event may be written in the chat box. Professor Tomar may kindly address.
Thank you very much, Dr. Panda. It's a really proud moment for me to welcome on behalf of Madhya Pradesh section. You may be aware it's a newest chapter formed in last year only, and with the grace and help of dignitaries available on this dais, Professor Chang, Professor Mark, Professor Panda, Professor Mohan, Dr. Deepak Mathur, Dr. Saifur Rahman, and all others, those who were instrumental in bringing up this subsection to section. It's a really great moment for us because it's very new and it's a 9th chapter which we are inaugurating today. Within this span of 6 months, it's a 9th chapter. This PLS, and maybe next week we will have 10th chapter also. But it should not remain in numbers. That's what our aim is. We need to provide each and every facility to whoever is trying to come up with the new chapters, new societies, or whatever events they want to conduct, especially in terms of societal needs, because this IEEE is doing whatever is required in technological field also, but remains in touch with the society. So it's my proud privilege to inform you that we are now opening our arms towards few problems of society. So maybe in a month or two, we will be gathering again to inaugurate those things also, because remaining in touch with technology is not solution. How it can be used for society, how can we help society, and to widen our wings, because until unless we do not widen our wings, we are of no use. So that is what we are trying. And with this new section and the support of our energetic team, in fact, I'm fortunate to have team of energetic persons that all are available on single call, and this is the reason why we are having society and then society one after another. So thank you very much for taking out your time, and I again welcome and really I'm obliged that you all are available on this dais. So thank you very much, and your grace and your blessings will certainly help us to improve our sections wings
Thank you, sir,
all
for your
around.
kind address. Now I request Anamika Madam, please present your number data.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all present today. I, Dr. Anamika Yadav, Associate Professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, NIT Raipur, take this privilege to warmly welcome all our delegates in this inaugural ceremony of IEEE Madhya Pradesh Section Power Electronics Society Chapter. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm extremely delighted to be the co-host of this evening and address this intellectual gathering. I heartily welcome the distinguished guests, Professor Liu Chen Chang, PLS President, Professor Mark Deong Zhu, IEEE Fellow and Vice President Membership PLS, Professor Sanjeev Panda, IEEE Fellow and Region 10 PLS Coordinator, Membership and Chapter Development, Dr. Deepak Mathur, Director, IEEE Region 10, Asia Pacific Region, Professor Saifur Rahman, IEEE President-elect 2022, Professor KJ Ray Liu, IEEE President, Dr. GS Tomar, Chair, IEEE Madhya Pradesh Section. While it is obvious to feel happy and delighted to give the brief introduction of the IEEE MP section PLS chapter, I am also excited and feel blessed about this role, as IEEE PLS chapter is intended to build an interactive platform of learning and sharing knowledge and expertise in the new cutting-edge power electronics technology in the era of green technology and renewable energy sources to meet the goal of social and economic development. Before we carry on with the event, I would like to convey my regards and appreciation to all the peoples who had made this event a reality. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of you all, and we all are a part of IEEE PLS due to our shared passion and vision. And with this, we strengthened the IEEE PLS society. Now, I would like to give a brief introduction about the power electronics chapter that has been formed. After obtaining approval of formation of this chapter of IEEE Madhya Pradesh section on 31st October 2022, the acting chair, Mr. M.K. Badapanda, scientific officer from RRCAT Indore, has further expanded his PLS society office bearer and offered me this opportunity to act as vice chair in this PLS chapter. Then Dr. R.K. Nema, who is professor at MNIT Bhopal, he is acting as advisor in the PLS chapter. Mr. Akhilesh Tripathi from RRCAT Indore, acting as secretary in PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter. Dr. Swapnijit Patnaik from NIT Raipur, acting as joint secretary. Dr. S.K. Dwivedi, assistant professor at MNIT Bhopal, also acting as joint secretary. And last, Dr. Sonti Venu, Assistant Professor at NIT Raipur, acting as Treasurer to PLS Chapter MP Section. I congratulate Dr. Bada Panda sir for being a chair of PLS Chapter, and myself, Dr. Anamika Yadav, Dr. R.K. Nema as advisor, and Dr. Akhilesh Tripathi as Secretary of PLS Chapter, Dr. Shailen Dwivedi, Dr. Swapnijit Patnaik as Joint Secretary, and Dr. Sonti Venu as Treasurer. This is the list of acting members. More than 25 is this active member, and in all we are total 35 members this year, and we are surely confident enough to increase the membership by up to 50 by the next year. These are few of the acting members: Dr. Sanjeev Singh, Dr. Savita Nema, Dr. D.V. Godke, Dr. Amod C. Umarikar, Dr. R.N. Patel, Dr. Sachin Jain, Dr. Lalit Sahu, Dr. Bipin Chand Mandi, Dr. Ibha Kole, Dr. Varsha Singh, Dr. Ujjwal Kala, Mr. Shivam Tamrakar, Dr. Shailin Sharma, and Dr. Badnath Bagh. And the last are Dr. Haripriya Vimuganti, Mr. A.S. Vijay, Dr. Saji Chako, Dr. Giri Babu, Dina Mina, and few student members. We have around 8 student members. Most of them are from academic institutions: Vishal Anand and Akhilesh Triwari from NIT Raipur, and Parmendu Kumar Pati, Vijay Kumar Dume, Tarun Kumar Rajore, Ratna Sharma, Shyam Sharma, and Saurabh Jain. They are from SGITS Indore. So this covers the total PLS members, acting members, who are contributing towards the vision and meeting the goal of PLS chapter. We have also organized various events which are from the industry persons and also the academia, and we will be contributing more towards the end by organizing certain short-term training program and one international conference. That is our goal to have organized in this year 2022. Thank you all for your patient listening.
Thanks, madam, for presenting our PLS member data detail. Now I request Professor Mark, IEEE Fellow and Vice President PLS membership, to kindly address why should I become a member of the PLS. Professor Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan. Yeah. Can you see my slides?
It is coming. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues of Madhya Pradesh chapter, good afternoon, good evening. It's a great pleasure to join the open ceremony of PELS Madhya Pradesh chapter. And first, I would like make a congratulation for the formation of PELS Madhya Pradesh chapter on behalf of the President Liu Chentang. So originally, Professor Chang want to join this meeting because of his flight change, so he cannot make it. So he asked me to make the congratulation. Thank you for all of you for your efforts to setting up these new chapters. So today I want to give. I'm Mark Hongxu, and I'm the vice president of PELS, also the professor at Zhejiang University in China. So during this opportunity, I would like to give a brief introduction of IEEE Power Electronic Society. So especially for our chapter members. So why we should become PELS members? So first is the networking. You join, you become the PELS member. The first is you can have opportunity, very wide broad of networking. And the PELS has more than 10,000 members located in more than 100 countries. We have more than 200 chapters. And PELS has many international conferences, such as APEC, ECCE, SPAC, etc. And you can join the technical committees of this international conference, or you can become a member of the conference committees. PELS also have committees such as Women in Engineering, Young Professional committees. And we also have mentorship program for the students, for the young engineers. So we also have social media. Secondly, as we know, we have a very rich online resource. We have, as you know, besides IEEE Explore, actually we also have a very rich resources called PELS Resource Centers. This is a multimedia online laboratories. So if you are a member, you can read the webinars, distinguished lectures, tutorials, conference presentation, videos, slides, roadmap, podcast. So all these resources is online. You can share this update information reports. And you also can talk with your peers. The PELS has 12 technical committees, so it covers very broad area, subfield of power electronics. So the green one is the new committee, technical committee of PELS, set up recently, including the electrical power grid system, wireless power transfer, automation of design, aerospace power, energy access, and off-grid systems. So if you are a PELS member, you can join these committees. You can share the information. You can contribute your ideas. And so you can also meet the leading experts. So we have a distinguished lecture program. So here is I listed the distinguished lecture in. So this distinguished lecture is usually hosted by the chapters, PELS chapter or student. And besides the distinguished lecture, we also have regional distinguished lecture. Here I list the region 10, the expert of region 10. So for the chapters, you can invite this regional distinguished lecture to give a talk. And PELS also have education and student programs. We have a very broad student programs, such as IEEE Future Energy Competition. This is an annual student competitions. And we also give students student grant, travel grants. And we have a mentorship program during the big international conference. And we also have a PhD thesis competitions. And recently, we also set a PhD summer school and fellowship scholarship for the students. And for the expert interested standard, we also set up we have make up a roadmaps, such as international technology roadmap for power electrodes for distributed energy resources. Another roadmap is for wide band gap semiconductors. And we have many other works on the standard, such as power hardware in the loop, smart grid activities, and fault current limiting, passive component, etc. And finally, to be a member of PELS, you also can your achievement can be recognized. So they're recognized in various ways: technical achievement, leadership, or this. We also support exciting student activities. And recently, PELS set up a new program to support the chapter and regions. We set a student branch chapter support program to support the chapter annually from 200 to 1,000 US dollars. We also give a chapter and joint chapter support programs. From 2023, we will give each chapter 500 US dollars per year. We also have a regional membership supporting program, starting to support the regional organizations. So as a brief summary, to be a PELS member, you can build a network and open a career door and gain expertise and stay current and get ahead. Finally, your achievement can also be recognized. So Power Electronics Society goal is to keep you current and competitive in workplace and provide you the tool necessary to grow both personally and professionally. So finally, President Liu Chengchang want me to share this information and thank you for all attending this event. So here we provide a free PELS membership promotion code. So for all the attendees today, you can use this promotion code. Use this promotion code, you can join IEEE, just adding this promotion code to the Power Electronic Society to your shopping cart. Then apply the profession code field when checking out from the membership website, so you can become a PELS member. So if you are already an IEEE member, use this code. You can freely for 1 year to be a PELS member. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. I hope today's event will be very successful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for providing the detail of the PLS member base and activities, conferences and award, as well as the PLS financial support to various chapters. And finally, the complimentary PLS membership offer to all IEEE members from the President of PLS, for which we are grateful to you. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Now I request Professor Sanjeev Panda, sir, IEEE Fellow and Region 10 PLS Coordinator, Membership and Chapter Development. He is Professor in National University of Singapore, to kindly address the PLS Chapter Development and PLS activities in Region 10, including in India, sir. Kindly address, sir.
Thank you, Manmat. I hope I'm audible clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not sharing any particular slide. Mark has already shared on behalf of the PELS, IEEE PELS Society, all the detailed information. So my role in the PELS is Region 10, Chapter Development and Membership Growth in the Region 10. So I'm the coordinator for that. As you know, IEEE is divided into 10 different regions. So I am taking care of our India falls under Region 10 basically. Now, geographically, Region 10 spans all the way from Pakistan to India, then Sri Lanka, and going further down into the south, it will be the New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand will be at the bottom there. And then your South Korea, Japan, China, all these things all incorporated, that forms the Region 10. And you'll be glad to know that under the IEEE PELS, Region 10 has almost 40% of the total membership we have about close to 11,000 members worldwide, out of which 40% of the members come from the region 10. So there is a lot of activities going on in region 10, and the society puts a lot of emphasis for membership growth in region 10. And I congratulate Manmat and his team who had been interacting with me to form the IEEE PELS Madhya Pradesh section chapter, and finally it has been approved. So congratulations to you, Manman, and your whole team for having this inauguration and inviting me to speak on behalf of the Region 10. Now, I'm focusing from Region 10 to India. So within India, we have about 12 chapters and more than 30 student branch chapters, roughly, and it is changing dynamically every other month. We have new formation of the chapter. So your chapter is the latest one of the PELS Society that is taking place as the new chapter in Madhya Pradesh section. Now, we hope that the scope in India is enormous, and we haven't exploited the membership for the PELS Society to grow every part of India. I remember that somewhere about 2 years back, we organized a conference in
आवाज क्यों चला गया आपसे फोन पे बात करके आवाजें गायब हो गए हैं
Excuse me. Yeah. So I was just saying that we organized a conference in India about 2-3 years back, and Freddie Blabjerg, our past president, he was there, and he challenged me as a Region 10 coordinator that in India we have so many young membership, student membership, and each of the IIT and each of the NIT should have the potential to form a chapter. So that itself gives us almost about 30 chapters to be formed within India. At the moment, we have roughly about 12 chapters and about 30 student branch chapters, but we have formed under the leadership of Mark as Vice President membership, we have formed a India subcommittee to grow the membership. And Srinivas is leading that particular committee as a representative from India. And we hope that we can form more chapters within India, just like your chapter. Now, I was looking at it. You showed the membership that you have about 35 members and roughly about 8 student members. Now, with this promotion of the free membership, I would encourage your, using the promo code Future50 as well as the PELS 2022 thing. You can get a free membership. So if you can go from 8 to about another 4, 12, you can form a student branch chapter under the MP section and MP PELS chapter. Now, the rationale I'm saying that why you should have a student branch chapter is whenever you are organizing activities, the student branch chapters volunteers, you can bring them in to organize conferences, events, and they are helping hands. And that is how I developed in Singapore. When we have the chapter, we form the student branch chapter. Now, another point I would like to highlight it here is that formation of the chapter or joint chapter or student branch chapter is easy. But what you could do that, how you maintain this chapter on a self-sustainable financially as well as technical things that you run so that the chapter and the student branch chapters remain active. Initially, the PELS Society may give you that $1,000 or $500 for the formation of the chapter, but to run event, you need more funding. And you cannot be looking at society all the time because we have more than 200 chapters worldwide. So you start thinking how you can organize small event, one-day event, workshop, and conferences. Then the revenue you generate will go in meeting your requirement and all the activities. So financially, you try to be self-sustainable in the next 3 years. That is the challenge I give to your chapter and when you form the student branch chapter. PELS is there to help you, but if everybody looks at PELS society, we'll be running out of money. So it is better that you also try from your side to do some activities and self-generate revenue for your chapter activities. We have exciting program coming up. I have talked to Srinivas from IIT Bhubaneswar. Mark has, we already have the PhD summer school program. So I'm trying to do that in India. I have talked to Srinivas, most likely towards the end of 2022 or early 2023 summertime, we can have a PhD school program run in India so that all the PhD students can come and attend that particular event, summer school. They can give talk about their PhD work and have interactions. And we also invite experts to give talk. But I want more student to student interaction to take place. And that will be the platform where they go and present their work, be criticized, and students will ask questions. So when they go internationally to present their work, they are not shy how to present it. So that will give a good starting point for India. We are also trying to look at it how we can bring some conference to India so that more of the Indian PELS members can participate in these conferences, and we are planning in that particular direction. Now, I think we have the distinguished lecture program, regional distinguished lecture program, which Mark already showed. So you can invite people, either physically they come over. Now the COVID is more or less gone. There are no restrictions. So if people can come, give a face-to-face talk locally in the chapter, in your chapter, that will be good. If not, at least remotely, you can do online activities. So make sure that you have at least 4 technical activities in a year and 2 or 3 administrative activities so that you can get bonus from MGA from the society to be active. So with that, I stop it. I hope I haven't taken too much of my time. And congratulations to all of you. And I hope your chapter will grow in months and years to come. Before I close my thing, I saw Prof. Mohan here. So my respect to him, because as a student, I have learned quite a lot from him. And eventually, as a member of the Power and Energy Society, where I meet him very often, and he gave a lot of advices. And with his blessings, I have managed to get the IEEE fellowship. Thank you, Prof. Mohan. I appreciate it for all of your help. Yeah. With that, I stop here.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for guiding us for the formation of the PLS Madhya Pradesh chapter. And we are in the process of forming a student branch in the Madhya Pradesh chapter also, for which we are discussing. And I should acknowledge here that your guidance to not only to our chapter, to all other chapters in the country, it is highly admirable. And I know I have attended many meetings chaired by you in PLS related activity in India. And I hope you will be continue to provide the support for this. And we will enrich the activities in PLS activity in the country with yours and Mars and other supports all around. Hope you will be there. Now I request Dr. Deepak Mathur, sir, Director, Region 10, IEEE Region 10, Asia Pacific region, to kindly address overview of the Region 10 now.
Thank you, Dr. Panda. Thank you very much. And I'm really happy to see that today's inaugural is being graced by personalities like Dr. Mohan. And I see my very old colleague Sanjeev Panda here. And this is also being attended by Professor Marg, who is the Vice President of Membership of PELS. And I'm happy to see that Geetam Tomar is also attending today's program, along with many of my friends and IEEE colleagues from Madhya Pradesh section. Yes. So let me first congratulate team of volunteers and Dr. Geetam Tomar for their efforts in making MP section. And I'm very glad to see that subsection was elevated to a full section, and you all deserve great appreciation for that. And I also appreciate the support provided by the Bombay section in the elevation of MP subsection to a section. And it is really good to note that MP section is very active since its formation. Several chapters, I've been told that 9 chapters have already been established in such a short time. I would also like to congratulate the team of volunteers of IEEE Power Electronics Society chapter of MP section for establishing this chapter, and I'm happy to see that it is being led by very efficient volunteers and the leader like Dr. Manmat Panda. So many congratulations, and thank you, Dr. Manmat, for your initiative, and I'm sure the activities of this chapter will help its members for their technical professional growth, and I wish you all a very great future. So with this note, I will start my presentation, and I was discussing with Dr. Badapanda that let me present. I should present the overview of Region 10. So can we go to the next slide, please? So my presentation will cover a bit about my background. Probably I'll not touch that. And I will also be talking about the IEEE as an organization. I will share Region 10 history, its organizational structure. And the most important thing is that what has been focus of Region 10 in 2021 and 2022. So next slide, please. So this is my volunteering experience. I started with an ExCom member of a small section, that is Gujarat section, and served as chair in 2006 and 7. I also served as the chair of India Council in 15-16. I got opportunity to serve in Region 10 ExCom in 2009 and also served as vice chair of membership activities. Currently, I am serving as director of Region 10, and that is for the term 2021 and 2022. I'm really grateful to each one of you for electing me to this position. So, and I also had opportunity to serve in various committees in IEEE, MGA, and SIDE, and I'm member of SSIT, where I served as the Board of Governors. And I'm also member of Industry Application Society, Signal Processing Society, and IEEE Honor Society, Itakapanur. So this year, I'm also serving in several ad hoc of IEEE, where I have been nominated as a member by the President Radio. Next slide. So many of you are aware of history of IEEE, but I'm going to share with you the history of Region 10. So let me share with you that the Region 10 history. After formation of IEEE in 1963 by the merger of 2 great technical societies, many of you know that, these societies were American Institute of Electrical Engineers and Institute of Radio Engineers. So after this merger, a new Region 8 was formed comprising of Europe, Middle East, and North Africa. And the rest of the world was Region 9 till 1966. So till 1966, there was no Region 10. In 1967, Region 9 was limited to South America, and the rest of the world became Region 10. And in 1981, Southern Africa was transferred from Region 10 to Region 8. And what we see today, Region 10, which is Asia Pacific region, was established in 1981. Next slide, please. So this was briefly covered by Dr. Sanjeev Panda. So this is the existing map of Region 10. We cover very large area. We have Afghanistan in the west, Mongolia in the north, Japan and Fiji in the east, and the south we have Australia and New Zealand. And there are 6 councils in Region 10, Korea, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, China, and India. And India is the largest council, and we have 13 sections where MP section is the newest one, and we have got 17 subsection, all with great potential to become section. Next slide, please. So today, Region 10 is the region with the highest number of sections and subsections in IEEE. And more than 70% of our sections have YP affinity groups, and 80% of our sections have WI affinity groups. We have good numbers of student chapters, student branches, student branch chapters, and student branch affinity groups. And our endeavor is to make them more active. bring more benefit for the growth of our student members. And we also have good number of chapters in Region 10. And I'm really happy to note that 40% of members of PELS is in Region 10. Next slide, please. One more thing in this slide, please go back to. So we had shown outstanding performance in elevating our senior members. 255 senior members. We have elevated members, 255 members, 2 senior members elevation has been done in Region 10 in 2021 against the goal of 1500. And I'm sure our performance is going to be better in the coming years. Next slide, please. So we are largest, diverse, and fast-growing region, and many of our subsections have potential to grow further and may be elevated to full section in coming years. Next slide, please. So if you talk about Region 10, we have significant growth. We have always been outstanding as far as the membership growth is concerned. Even during the pandemic, we have registered 9% growth, and our membership is 117,000. We have good growth in YP membership, and WI membership is doing outstanding in Region 10. But our concern is the member retention, and we are devising a program to add value to the members and to make our retention really meaningful in coming years. Next slide, please. So these are 4 flagship events of Region 10. 10SIM, 10Con, and R10 HTC are our annual conferences, whereas SYWL Congress, which is Student, Young Professional, Women in Engineering, and Life Members Congress, is done once in 2 years. All these events were held in virtual mode in 2020. In 2021, I'm happy to share that we had 2 of our conferences in hybrid mode. 10SIM was held in Jeju and R10 HTC was held in Bangalore, both in hybrid mode. 10Con was also planned to be held in hybrid mode, but keeping safety in the mind, we did this in virtual mode. That was a very good decision of the committee at New Zealand, and the conference was a grand success. And the efforts of all volunteers, I would like to really say that those who were involved must be applauded for that. And hopefully all conferences and our SYWL Congress, which will be in 2022, shall be in full in-person event, and all have been planned accordingly. Next slide, please. So these are the thrust areas where we focus in 2021, where we focused in 2021, and we continue to focus in 2022. These are the directions for Region 10 committees, and we have decided these after lots of discussion, brainstorming, and deliberation in our OPCOM, and we will continue to work in future as well. For membership activities, our focus is on member retention and continuation of students to young professionals. And our thrust area for technical activities are section chapter collaborative programs, conference quality, and industry engagements. And in professional activities, we are keeping our focus on entrepreneurship and career advancement programs. So I advise that we should also have such focus in our sections, subsections, chapters, because direction is very important. We should have direction for our organizational units and for our members and volunteers. Next slide, please. So Region 10 is very diversified. Our members come from different countries with different backgrounds. We have good percentage of students and young professionals, and that indicates that Region 10 has great future. WI membership in Region 10 is phenomenal, and we have seen that close to 20,000 WI members in Region 10, and it is still growing. And it has always been our endeavor to be diversified in our committees and our activities. Next slide, please. So there are 24 countries in Region 10 where we have a section or a subsection, and our plan is to add more countries in the coming years. More than 50 languages are spoken in the countries of Region 10, and these are the official languages. We are promoting reaching local initiative to benefit local members, and we have organized several programs in local language in 2021. And in many countries, this program is very successful, and we are still widening our reach through this initiative. And this is a great effort to address diversity in Region 10. And I would like to request you all that please take benefit of this program, and you can contact the Educational Activities Committee Chair of Region 10. Next slide, please. So engaging more volunteers in Region 10 committees has been our great initiative. And this is our new initiative. We wanted to create opportunities for more volunteers at region level, and we introduced structured subcommittees under Region 10 committees. Around 150 volunteers are serving in these subcommittees of Region 10, and I encourage that more volunteers to join Region 10 subcommittees, volunteers who have worked and contributed in significant volunteer roles in their respective sections, chapters, and subsections are encouraged. And we can still give chance to volunteers in our committees, and one should make use of such golden opportunity. In fact, these are the volunteer leaders of tomorrow. Next slide, please. So this is going to be my last slide, and these are the members of Region 10 ExCom. Region 10 ExCom is a very diversified. We try to keep it as diverse as possible. We have included good number of women volunteer leaders in this ExCom, perhaps highest ever in number. We are fortunate to have past President Professor Toshio Fugda, past VP MGA Professor Kuk Jin Chun in our Region 10 ExCom as advisory committee member. All our ExCom members are very talented, dedicated, and committed volunteers. And I would like to emphasize one thing, that with diversity, we not only bring diversity of region, diversity of gender, or diversity of profession, we also bring diversity of ideas, diversity of thoughts, and we share diversity of best practices. So, next slide, please. So with this, I would like to conclude, and I look forward to working with all of you. And I once again thank Dr. Badapanda and you all for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts, and I wish you all a very bright future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak Mathur, sir, for your inspiring words.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much, sir, for providing the detailed overview of the Region 10, including its history, flagship events, like TENSIM. In TENSIM, we are participating actively, and various volunteer opportunity available in Region 10. And thank you once again that in the early morning at Seattle, you could able to join here. Sorry, thank you. And now I would like to give a hearty welcome to our special guest, Professor Saifur Rahman, IEEE President-elect 2022. And he is Director of the Virginia Tech Advanced Research Institute, USA. Now I request Professor Saifur kindly address to the participants.
Good evening, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
I'm especially pleased to see so many of you are here, and that's my satisfaction. That so many of you, this Madhya Pradesh, India as a whole, have come together to form this chapter, which is, to me, chapter is the core of IEEE chapters, because chapter leaders are the foot soldiers. Make IEEE visible, IEEE useful, IEEE recognizable. If you don't exist, we don't exist. So this is very important. I was a chapter chair in Virginia in 1985. So I have risen like you from chapter chair, section chair, VP, all that kind of stuff. So my point is, I just heard our Region 10 Director, Deepak Mathur, mention, we want to recruit and retain more members. That's a good approach, but how do you do this? When I ran for my election, I took it very serious. If I become president, I'll try to make IEEE more relevant to the working engineer, relevant. If it is not relevant, they don't care. It's not money. In fact, globally, membership in US, Canada, and Europe decreasing. The fact, decreasing. Growing in India. India is not this country, but they can afford it. So if we can make IEEE more relevant, global, including Minneapolis, we can be more effective. That's my first objective. Make it more relevant. How do you do this? That's where you, MP chapter, comes in. You can demonstrate by inviting guests, lecturers, industry professionals, government leaders. Manmat has done that already in some cases, I know, to come and give a talk in your chapter event. That opens up the possibility among the young generation of engineers that MP chapter is face of IEEE, which is making IEEE more meaningful, useful, and acceptable to the working engineer. Keep that in mind, as I'm sure you do. That's my second request to you, especially power electronics. I know PELS very well. Two former presidents, Fred Lee and Dushan Burevich, are my colleagues in Virginia Tech, the same department. So I know PELS from its birth. I was involved in PELS for a long time. So PELS has a unique opportunity in India because the growing industry in India, growing industry, automotive, aerospace, even medical field. So an MP is in the center of all of these. I hope you have a high dream that you become a significant flagship among India-based PELS chapters. What can be done by recruiting academics, industry engineers, and government people. Show them what can be done. And one final thing is, I know IEEE has this called Distinguished Lecture Programs. Your society has the same thing. Use it as much as you can. Invite people who are well known from Region 10 globally. Bring them into Madhya Pradesh, India, maybe other chapters in India as well, to showcase that you are not only talking locally, you are able to bring industry, academia, government, senior leaders to Madhya Pradesh and make it relevant to the working engineers. I'm stop here so that I am very happy. So you hear what I'm saying. Keep in mind, we want to make IEEE more relevant to the working engineers. Just keep that in mind. Engineers doesn't mean only double E's. Could be very kinds of engineers, technologists, IT professionals, industry people, people in the medical field, business field as well. So keep it open, big umbrella, and I hope you will be very successful. It'll grow big, but more importantly, it's not a big, it's big impact, not just numbers. With that, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for kindly gracing the occasion and giving your address. And now we would like to play a video by Professor J. Rendu, President. Deepak, will you run it?
No sound.
Sound.
Akhilesh sir, please turn on your
Sound.
mic. There is no sound.
There is
Still it
no
is not
sound.
audible.
Akhilesh, if you do like this, to share only one tab
then only it will be sound will be generated only.
Mute myself.
Or else anyone else can say.
Just a minute.
Try once or else give me the assist. I will try.
Yes,
Share
just I'm doing.
Share single tab, not entire screen.
Yes.
Or else, if there's a difficulty, we'll play it after Nandan Shar's lecture.
During sharing, you can see there is one checkbox is there to enable it, and then you will get the sound.
Yes, it is now shared. Please tell me, is audible?
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
Very privileged to serve as the 2022 president of the IEEE. I want to share a warm welcome to all of the participants. For those of you who are already IEEE members, thank you. I am honored to be your colleague. Let me share my vision with you. Those of you who are not, perhaps my three following remarks will provide you with some insight into what IEEE does, what it can do for you, and what we can accomplish together. Do you know IEEE is no longer the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer? It is simply IEEE. My vision is to make it simply your professional home. It is the home of engineers, scientists, technologists, practitioners, and entrepreneurs who form the community of IEEE. Our members are experts from the highest echelons of industry and academia and are in every vital area of technology, spanning almost every area one can think of. Our members are computer scientists, electrical, mechanical, and electronic engineers. They are physicists and biologists who use our tool in their daily work. They are entrepreneurs and marketeers who build their business on our technology. Are technicians who demonstrate their proficiency through their technical work. And they are teachers who share their knowledge with their students of science and technology. Long gone are the days when the technologists can count on lifelong employment with a single company. My plan is to build IEEE to be our members' home base, home for your entire career, to help you with career growth through continuing learning and skill training, job opportunities that offer better career and professional opportunities, mentoring by connecting you with respected colleagues who can guide you, and peer networking by building a strong sense of community. Your professional home, we have suites of product and service, including publications, conference, lifelong learning opportunities, society and council, session and chapter, and standards, all available for our members to personalize to meet their desired needs from when you first join IEEE as a student member until retirement. This professional home offer the product and service required for every stage of your career. IEEE can help ensure you have successful career development with great prospects even when changing jobs. Through the continual learning of practical content and training of new skills relevant to your work to advance your career, IEEE not only provide technology tools, but also personal connections that help mentor and nurture your career path. Most important, IEEE help professionals grow their soft skills, such as leadership and the ability for cross-disciplinary collaborations. In essence, IEEE offer you a whole new way of thinking and self-knowledge to consider while advancing along your career path and for you to use throughout your life. IEEE is a community of career support and professional growth with worldwide network. IEEE is your professional home. I encourage all of today's participants, IEEE members and non-members, to engage with IEEE's activity and initiative, inspire participation from fellow colleagues, and maximize all that your IEEE membership does for you, for our professional communities, and for the benefit of humanity. Thank you. I wish you all a successful event. Please take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Salen Trivedi to please give the brief introduction of the chief guest, Professor Mohan.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Dr. Shalin Kumar Dwivedi from MNIT Bhopal. On the behalf of PLS chapter MP section, welcome you all. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce our chief guest today, who is going to talk about power engineering education in the age of climate crisis, a holistic view. Professor Ned Mohan sir does not need any introduction. He is very famous and pioneer researcher and academician in the field of power electronics. But still, to start the session, formally I would like to introduce him. Dr. Ned Mohan, life member of IEEE, joined the University of Minnesota in 1975, where he is an Oscar Scott Professor of Power Electronics System and Moss Alumni Distinguished Professor. He received his bachelor's degree from the IIT Kharagpur in 1967. His PhD in electrical engineering and master's in nuclear engineering are from University of Wisconsin-Madison. He has written 6 textbooks. Altogether, they have been translated into 9 languages. He has graduated 50 PhDs as of now. His area of research is in power electronics applied to power system, and he holds several patents. Ed Mohan sir received the St. Moss Distinguished Teaching Award for Undergraduate Education from the University of Minnesota in 2007. He has received 2008 IEEE PS Outstanding Educator Award, 2010 IEEE Undergraduate Teaching Award in 2010, UWIG Achievement Award from Utility Wind Integration Group, 2011 Distinguished Alumnus Award from IIT Kharagpur, India, and 2012 IEEE Power and Energy Society Ramkumar Family Renewable Energy Excellence Award. In 2013, he received the Innovative Program Award from the ECE Department Heads Association, made up of over 250 US universities. In 2014, he received the Distinguished Graduate Teaching Award from the University of Minnesota and IEEE Nari Hingoreni Facts Award from the IEEE Power and Energy Society. He is Life Fellow of IEEE, Resident Professor and a member of the National Academy of Engineering. He is the recent recipient of the IEEE James H. Milligan Educational Medal. With this, sir, I would request you to enlighten us, sir, please.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, it is
I'll just take just 1 minute, sir. Now we'll just light a lamp. A video will be there. The lamp lighting, you can start now. Lamp lighting for inauguration lighting.
So I'm sorry, should I start now?
Actually, one lamp lighting video will come for hardly 10-15 seconds.
Okay. No problem. Sorry.
Please. This is specifically made for our chapter.
Okay.
Sound नहीं आ रहा. It's okay. It's okay. It is basically a virtual inaugurations by you. So
Okay.
you can start now, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for
Yeah.
such a fine and great, gracious introduction. And I'm very kindly obliged to Dr. Professor Balapanda for inviting me to this inauguration session, because Bhopal is very dear to my heart. I have been to Bhopal many times. I grew up in Jabalpur, which is not very far from Bhopal. I have been to Raipur, I have been to Bilaspur. So I have been to all these places. That's where my beginning is, childhood was. And so I'm very grateful, very honored, and kind of moved to be invited to give this presentation. And I wish you all the success in the world with your chapter, that it'll grow and will be a fantastic chapter. And I have recruited many students in the past from Bhopal, in Madhya Pradesh as well, to be coming to our group. And I appreciate the comments from Professor Sanjeev Panda from Singapore, who I have known very well, and my colleague and now our president-elect for 2022, Professor Saifur Rahman. So, I'm very grateful to be here. And what I have to share with you is some message which is somewhat common sense. So I have certain slides, but I will go through them quickly because, you probably know a lot of it already, what we need to do to move forward with all the challenges that face us with climate crisis. So let me share my slides. And so I think there's a share button here. I click on it and then it says share. And then I think I am sharing it. I'm surprised that I'm able to manage it. Okay. And but if you have any questions, please stop me and we can discuss as we move along. So here is the title of my slide: Power Engineering Education in the Age of Climate Crisis. And we have to look at it in a holistic manner. And here is a picture of our campus in summertime. It doesn't look as nice in wintertime. So you know that climate is changing and is changing because of us. So just a month or so ago, there was a news article in the paper that in eastern Antarctica, the temperatures were 70 degrees warmer than normal. Okay. And, soon after that, an ice shelf collapsed. So what happens when all this ice melts? Well, we know that it raises the sea levels, right? And so the climate crisis is one thing that we have to face. The other is electricity. Electricity is a basic human right. So growing up in Madhya Pradesh, which was, quite a few years back, I'm 76 years old, so it was a few years back. And, even today, 1.3 billion people, 1/6 of humanity, have no access to electricity reliably. And I hear and I read that as many as 800 million people have access to no electricity whatsoever. Okay, and just in 1 billion more, and 1 billion more will be joining us in just a short 10 years. Okay, so what do? We need to provide electricity because it's a basic human right, and at the same time we have to be aware of this climate crisis here. So that to illustrate this point that so many people have no access to electricity, here is a slide from Bill Gates' notes, which shows a satellite picture at night, and so many places are in dark, meaning that they have no access to electricity here. So as we talk today, let's see what happened here. As we talk today, we are emitting something like, if I may annotate this, if it works here. I think it'll work. pen. Okay, so today we are emitting something like 51 gigatons. Giga is a billion tons per year of these greenhouse gases. And if you're going to follow this 1.5 degrees pathway here, this emission has to go down and actually negative. That means we need to suck more carbon dioxide off the atmosphere than we're injecting, right? So, so I pointed wrong way here, somewhere here. So that's a challenge we have. And if you look at this book by Bill Gates, he puts it in a very simple terms that what is causing these greenhouse gases? When industrial activity, manufacturing, 31%, electricity generation, 27%, agriculture, 19%, transportation, 16%, and then keeping warm and cool. And this will go up as the planet is warming, right? And then if all the vehicles we have, many of them go to, if they go to electric, then this getting around would also go up, right, in terms of usage of electricity. So electricity may be 27% responsible for those greenhouse gases, but if other sectors require more electricity, the emissions from electricity would be higher unless we go to renewables. Okay, so we had a conference where Dr. Gavin Schmidt, he's the director of this Goddard Institute of Space Studies in New York City. It's a NASA-run institute. He says that compared to the pre-industrial age, our temperatures have gone up about 1 degree centigrade, okay, 1 degree centigrade, and which is roughly about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. So people say that what's the big deal? 1 degree centigrade, so what? Well, he points out that it took only 4 degrees centigrade to cause the ice age. So we have gone 1/4 of ice age unit in the opposite direction. So the situation is very serious. And he says that if we do nothing, our planet would be as warm as Venus. And if even under serious mitigation, he has ruled out aggressive mitigation. Even under serious mitigation, there'll be parts of the world where the temperatures would rise 4 degrees centigrade, one full ice age unit by year 2100 here. So these are the challenges that face humanity. And so this is a slide from United States power generation. So it's not all that applicable to every situation, but it says that our 35% is generated by natural gas. Okay. And then coal is the number 2, which is about 23% is coal. And then we have nuclear, about 20%. And then hydro is about 7%, and about renewables. And renewables include solar and wind. We do not normally include hydro, which is also renewables in many ways, into this renewable mix. And similarly, this nuclear should be included or could be included, but it's not included. Okay, so, and then we have this very uncertain geopolitical situation, as you can see, with this war in Ukraine going on, and all these countries banning the importation of oil and gas and coal from Russia. Well, I mean, this is not supposed to be a political discussion, and it isn't. But the point is that if they are not able to import these things from Russia, what do they substitute it with? Of course, they have to have electricity, they have to have energy. So my guess is that they'll be burning more coal that they have. And you know what happens when we burn coal, right? So that's another. So this is really our responsibility, is that because a lot of the technical solutions we have are ECE oriented, electrical engineering oriented. So if we don't do it, who will do it? If not us, who else, right? So we all in ECE has something to contribute, and all universities, not just some elite universities, we need to provide a first-rate education and graduate students in large numbers. So that's really our challenge, okay? So what I would say that we need to promote the message of climate change in high schools and middle schools, because that's where our student body comes from in universities, right? And teach every course which has some sustainability aspect to it, but take a holistic view. So that's my main message, that take a holistic view, because the world is not compartmentalized. It's just like our body is, all pieces are connected together. So we have an opportunity to create a vibrant program at each universities, and we can have large undergraduate and graduate education enrollments by convincing them that what if they come to this field, they can do something meaningful that is fulfilling to them, which is purposeful, but also is financially rewarding, because there's so many job opportunities in this field, right? So if you can combine the two, the financial reward with purposeful work, I think we will get more undergraduates coming from high schools. And then there's a lot of research and development funding available. And so our program has to be interdisciplinary, not just looking at electrical in isolation, but working in combination, collaboration with other departments such as ME. So there are a lot of research funding opportunities here listed here in the U.S. in this $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that has been passed, right, for electric grid energy and electric cars, buses, and ferries, things like that here. So at least in the U.S., I cannot say in the rest of the world. Now the transportation sector has a bigger carbon footprint than electric power sector, and this crossover happened in 2016. So if you're going to solve this problem of greenhouse gases, we have to move from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles or something else, right? Which does not have this carbon footprint, because transportation has become more. So just a slide here showing that how pleasurable it will be if we have an electric vehicle, for example, and it's autonomous here. So two couples here could be going to dinner, for example. Okay. So one of the challenges we have is we need to have this charging infrastructures for EVs. So that's your section is power electronics, right? So that's right in the domain of power electronics. Okay, and so we had worked here in the mid 90s, but it didn't go any far. Although we did develop this charger, and it's in this movie here, Who Killed the Electric Car? Okay, so the answer, looking at all these things, is that we need to shift our energy use to electricity. Okay, but in the form of electricity, and we need to generate that electricity using renewables, conservation, of course, and whatever we do it should be with a sustainability mindset. Okay, but the bottom line is that science alone cannot stop global warming. Human attitudes must change. Okay, so that's really points to all of us, right? We don't have any magic formula to change human attitudes, but that is what it'll take to stop global warming. Okay, so my main message is right in this slide, that we need to take a holistic view. Okay, the world is not compartmentalized. So power electronics, and electric machines and drives, we shouldn't be thinking of them in isolation. They are all connected. Okay, so wherever electricity is generated, we should be looking at it, transportation and defense becoming more important, and then industrial competitiveness. For example, robots, right? And biomedical applications here. So an example of how these three areas that I highlighted and controls are connected is this the wind turbine, for example. So you have a generator here, electric machines and drives. And then you have power electronics converter at the bottom, right, which is power electronics. And then you have transformers and transmission lines. So this is power systems, all this here, right? So you can see that, and then they need to be controlled to operate at its, so that we harness the maximum amount of energy that can be harnessed from wind. Okay, and so sometimes the role of electric machines and drives is not emphasized, but you can see here that on this slide that a large fraction of electricity is generated and consumed by rotating machines. In transportation, we need that, electric vehicles, wind plants, and concentrated solar power. It's not that common, but there are some plants, and of course nuclear plants here, which also don't generate any, or not as much carbon. So nuclear plants have the same carbon footprint as the wind power plants. Okay, so they're, in terms of their carbon footprint, they are probably 1/4 that of photovoltaic. And also we need more transmission. Okay, so the transmission structure we have would need to be probably doubled, maybe tripled, if we go towards renewables, because we know renewables are not, they're variable, right? So, for example, and renewable sources are located further away. So for example, we are in Minnesota here. In southwestern corner, we have a lot of wind, but load centers here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and this distance may be about 300 miles here. So we need transmission lines. Same thing here shown for California here. So we need more high voltage transmission lines, perhaps DC lines, right? I know that in India there's a long DC lines coming from the east, and maybe there are more in the planning stage, but in the US, we have a few DC lines. Actually, Minnesota has 2 HVDC lines coming in, but there are plans for, or at least people are thinking about a HVDC overlay. And then, the other concern we have with renewables is that, renewables not being constant, being variable. What happens, for example, in California, there's something called duck curve here, where during the noon hours, because of all the solar panels on various roofs generating electricity, the demand of electricity from utilities goes down. So look, the demand is somewhere here during noon hours, and then as evening approaches, the sun is going down, and people are coming home, turning on their TVs and ovens and so on, and this demand peaks. So the power generated by utilities has to ramp very fast. So here, ramp needs about 13 gigawatts, 13,000 megawatts in 3 hours. So that takes a toll on generation equipment. So it'll be much better to have batteries here. But batteries are not there yet economically, because we're talking about a large amount of energy storage here. Okay, so we have people working on it. For example, there's a company one of my students went to work for. It's iron air storage. So iron is plentiful, air is plentiful, of course, and so you're going from metallic form to rust when you discharge, and when you charge, you go from rust to iron here. So there's a plan to build a demo, somewhere here near. So I live very close to this area here. So we hope to see this demonstration plan sometime next year, if all goes well. So the people are working on battery storage. At the moment, the goal is $100 per kilowatt hour is the goal for the cost of these batteries. But these folks say that it could be 1/10 of this here. So they have very high ambitions, and see how we wish them luck. So the need for research is shown in this slide here. So because of wind and solar being variable, more capacity you install its value, which is shown in blue here, goes down, as you can see here. It's going down, right? And the cost, of course, goes down a little bit too, and the crossover happens somewhere here at this value, this amount of installed capacity. But if you want to have more integration of renewables, what we need to do is to lower the cost. So the new cost is shown by this line over here. And now you can see that this crossover happens at higher penetration of renewables here. Okay, and then we can do this systemic innovation, and which could keep the value always higher than the cost here. So that kind of highlights that we cannot just sit on our laurels. We have to continually keep doing research to bring the cost down and reliability higher. And so as we speak, the number of students going into electrical engineering programs, at least in the US, I cannot say about the rest of the world, are going down. And I like to get more information. This goes only up to 2018. But what is the picture beyond this here? So there is a conference going on later this month of ASEE, American Society of Electrical Engineers. And I'd like to find out some information, and perhaps IEEE may have this information. So I'll write to Professor Saifur Rahman to see if I can get some information. So when we think about power engineering, we have basically three components and controls. So we have power systems, we have power electronics, and we have electric machines and drives. And they are all connected, right? So at our school, we had many courses at the undergraduate, but we made it only into 3 courses, one on power electronics, one in electric drives, one in power systems. Core courses all students have to take, but keeping it only to 3 undergraduate courses, it allows all the complementary courses to be taught as well. So our goal is to, have undergraduates complete their education with in a broad manner. So we'd say that master's and PhD is the place to get specialized. Okay, whereas at the undergraduate level, we like to provide more broad education, but enough in this field so they can go and be productive in industry. Okay, so we developed this CUSP program. This is a website that anybody can go to. So here's the URL here for this CUSP here, and it has 235 U.S. universities as members. And so what we are doing is developing all this course material in these fields and uploading it to this website, and downloading it from there is totally free. You don't need to be a member. Okay, any material that is on this CUSP website can be downloaded by anybody. Okay, so not only just viewed from the internet as such, but you can actually download it on your machine. And then we are developing some so-called pipeline courses. I mentioned to you about the number of students coming into electrical engineering going down. So our mission is to, go out and recruit from high school and from community colleges here. So we have developed 2 programs here to do that here. Okay, so a lot of effort I'm spending at the moment on this here. So here's a list of courses that we have developed. I'll not belabor the point. Some of them are graduate level courses, and some of them are undergraduate, senior level courses, last year of their undergraduate year. And so I mentioned to you this pipeline course right here, which we are teaching at the freshman level, but it is also being taught in several high schools. Okay, so our goal is to spread this message all over the university, not just in science and engineering, but in all colleges within our university, and then also bring this message to high school students early on. Okay, so that's the goal. And so I'll skip this slide here. And so we are also developing hardware labs to go along with these courses. And we just had a workshop in May 20 of this year, and we had 270 registrants. This we had advertised only in the US. It was sponsored by NSF. And so the goal of us is that we need hands-on education. So when we teach undergraduate courses, we should have accompanying hardware labs. So that was the message here. And we had developed these labs back in a little after 2000, and they had been acquired by 109 US universities, but that was like 15, 20 years ago, and they're getting old, legacy components cannot be found. So we have developed new labs, and these labs now are acquired all over the world, as you can see on this map here. And so our university had a startup called Sciamble. So one of our PhD students, he became our postdoc, and now he's my colleague, research assistant professor. He started this company which makes this hardware that you see here, very low cost. Okay, very low cost hardware, and the control of this hardware and simulation is using a simulation platform which is developed here. Okay, so that's really the effort we have going on in parallel with writing these textbooks. That hardware lab should be there, and the main characteristic of this lab is that they are very inexpensive, at least from the US point of view, less than $4,000 per lab setup. Okay, and but one of the very significant advantage of these labs is that they are remotely accessible. So if these labs are computer controlled, okay, then you can control that computer remotely, right? We know that remote control of remote desktop. You have heard of that program. So any student sitting at home from their PC, they can log into the lab computer and control these laboratories here. So I'll skip this here, and these are the laboratories that we have developed, and some of the experiments that we can do in the drives lab, basic drives, advanced drives lab, and then similarly in power electronics. This is also remotely accessible, as you can see here, and also is available, and all the list of experiments. And by the way, I should mention that I have no financial interest in this. Zero financial interest. It's a startup company, and I'm not affiliated with that company, not even as an advisor. Okay. And so also we are developing this advanced power electronics lab. So this is work in progress, and it will be completed in sometime in October. And all these different topologies that are used to integrate renewables to the grid, one can learn about this, of course, in a lecture course, but then this hands-on laboratory, which will accompany that lecture course here. So these are topics that can be illustrated in this hardware lab here. And we're also working in the power systems like a laptop microgrid. Okay, so that's another project that we have going on, and this is also a work in progress here. So, and these list of experiments, I'll just skip over that. And then one of the things that we have done in power systems is actually, one of our PhD students, he's working for EPRI, Electric Power Research Institute. So I joined forces with him, and I have a book on power systems. And what we did was to add this program called PSSE to demonstrate some of the concepts. Okay, so PSSE is a program which is used very widely by utilities, I understand, in 140 countries. So why not teach use of PSSE in conjunction with teaching this power systems course? Okay, so this lab that we will develop using PSSE and Python, which is free. And by the way, this PSSE is also, if you limit your system to 50 buses, the program is free. Okay, so we want to make sure that whatever we use, whatever program we use, is available at no cost. Okay, so that's really the mission here. And so we're thinking that, look, $4,000 per lab setup. If you have 5 lab setups, it'll cost you $20,000. Well, $20,000 may be affordable in the United States. Not easy to get. If I were to go to my department head and say that, give me $20,000 to, I want to set up a lab. He said, Ned, it may take some time, maybe 2-3 years before you get it. Okay. But a much better option, let's forget about this for now, for the sake of time. But what we are thinking is that we can set up these laboratories somewhere centrally, and then anybody can access those labs on the internet. Okay. So we can have instructor can get a license for the whole class, and this license may cost something like $500 per semester. So if you have a class of 30 or 40 students, you can get that license, and that's all we need. You don't need any hardware equipment right in your lab. And by webcam, you can see this equipment. You can even hear the motors turning. Okay, so that was the focus of this workshop we had on May 20th. Okay, so that's pretty much, this is my last slide. It's really our responsibility. We have just one planet, and you may have seen this. Carl Sagan used to have a show called Cosmos, and he says that there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. So it kind of gives us ourselves in perspective, humility. We are here, my friends. So we know that we are a speck on a speck, right? Our Earth is a planet revolving around this middle-aged star we call the Sun, and there are 200 billion such stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way, and now with the Hubble telescope help, astronomers are telling us that there may be over 2 trillion galaxies, and that too in the known universe. So it kind of puts everything in perspective for us, right? But we have just one planet. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I think we are running over time in this conference, as often happens. So I have kept it short, and I'd like to finish up by thanking you all. And so if there are any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us on various issues related to power engineering education in the age of climate crisis. In part, in this climate crisis, power electrons play a great role, and a lot of challenges comes in. All of us combinedly will try to address that. But I would like to tell here that, sir, we are very much privileged to listen to you on this topic. And this topic is of recent interest to all the community members. And I will tell from my side, the chapter will remember you for inaugurating this event forever. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me once again say that I'm really honored to be here. It's close to heart. And I wish you all the best in your chapter in years to come. So thank you again, and have a good conference workshop. Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Now I request all to kindly come in video mode so that we can take few photographs.
Group photographs, please.
Group photographs, yes. Please come in video mode as far as possible. And in the meantime, I'll just tell that we have got another lecture, maybe the particular chair, another lecture on PELS Day. Lecture will be delivered by Professor Frede Glasberg. He is the director of the Center for Reliable Power Electronics and professor in Aalborg, University of Denmark. His topic will be reliability of power electronic systems, motivation, design challenges, and solutions. That will be held on 7:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. All are requested to join there. So certificate and this is the this is the year that will be on PLS day, and we'll have almost similar year. Professor Luchang, Professor Panda, and all Professor Mark also, they will all be coming. Now I feel honored to give a certificate of President Professor Mohan, kindly so. I'm honored that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Both the certificates are again. I'm honored that Professor Saipur, Professor Vichan Chang, and Professor Deepak Mathur sir all agreed to sign without any. So it is basically from our side to remember the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just photographs, ladies. Photograph only.
Yeah, Pawan is taking photographs. Sachin is also taking photographs.
Few others may also take it.
Yeah, please take. Yes.
Those are only. Yeah.
Yes.
Then I would tell Dr. Tripathi to give the vote of thanks in this year.
Yes. Good evening to everyone in India and good morning to everyone in US on the occasion of inauguration of IEEE Power Society chapter of Madhya Pradesh section. Honorable Dr. Mohan sir, Oscar Short Professor of Power Electronics, University of Minnesota, USA, and renowned author of many books on power electronics which are taught globally. Professor K.J. Ray Leo, current IEEE President. Professor Saifur Rahman, IEEE President-elect for 2022. Professor Lee Chun Chang, President, IEEE Power Electronics Society. Professor Sanjeev Kumar Panda, Region Trained PLS Coordinator for Membership and Chapter Development. Professor Mark Deong Liu, Vice President of PLS for Membership. Mr. Deepak Mathur, Director, IEEE Region 10, SVI Pacific Region. Dr. G.S. Tomar, Chair, IEEE Madhya Pradesh Section. Dr. Archana Sharma, Group Director, RBRC Mumbai. Mr. Tushar Puntambekar, Sir, Group Director, RRCAT Indore, India. All my most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Akhilesh Tripathi, Secretary, PLS Chapter Madhya Pradesh Section, on behalf of PLS Chapter of Madhya Pradesh Section, and entire organizing team, volunteers, fraternity of Power Trans Society present here together, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for gracing this occasion and sharing your opinion today. I would like to give my hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Mohan sir for inaugurating the PLS chapter of IEEE Madhya Pradesh section and delivering keynote address. Thank you, sir, for your very thought-provoking and interesting address. In this lecture, you pointed out the role of power engineering and renewable energy sources in fight against the climatic crisis. I'm pretty sure that it will definitely help the scientific fraternity present here in using the educational technologies for this cause. Thank you, sir, once again. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Mr. M.K. Badapanda, sir, Chair PLS Chapter of Madhya Pradesh Section, for convincing the Chief Guest and other dignitaries from IEEE, IEEE Region 10, and IEEE Madhya Pradesh Section to join this inauguration function. I extend a warm thank to all the people in the gathering for their active participation. I must thank the organizing team and volunteers for working hard for the past few days to make this inauguration function successful. Thank you everyone once again for being with us this evening. Thank you very much.
I would also thank all the IEEE dignitaries and all others to join this event together, which I had not thought of earlier that all can join together. Probably the online option gave us that opportunity. So we could find all dignitaries in one platform. Thank you all once again. And, it is so that we could finish exactly in the time. So there is no overlap, nothing. Everyone spent without any alertness. Everyone delivered the talks in the time. So we are in time now. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief Guest.
Thank you, Mohan.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.